Oh man, what have I done? What have I done? But I done it again this week. What's going on, guys? Your boy Jayson Yessir coming to you live in the Spit It Out Studios. Another podcast episode for you guys. And of course, we're going to get into it quick this week. We ain't going to delay it at all. We got the motherfucker JJ in the building. What up, JJ?
What up? I am back.
What's up? What's up? Back in the house. Back
Don't mind
in
the
the house.
background. Those are mannequins, people.
Sure they are. If you guys aren't watching youtube.com/Jayson Yessir, of course, the first 20 minutes of every episode. We tell you this every single Zam podcast, but if you're new here and if you didn't know, you can watch the first 20 minutes of every episode on YouTube. The rest of the podcast is, of course, audio only, and you can get that on your Apple Podcasts, your Castbox, your Himalayas, Listen Notes, wherever you get your podcast at, just about it. You can find it there. But if you guys are watching, you would have just seen JJ done pan to the right to the floor and showed off Bailey, his dog. That's
Hey, girl.
what is the breed again? I'm
Good
horrible.
boy and German Shepherd.
Pitbull and German Shepherd. There you go. So you would have seen baby. You would have seen Bailey make an appearance. I was saying the baby. The baby's in the house making an appearance over there. No, you would have seen Bailey making an appearance right there. And of course, you'll see me looking dapper today. Just whipped this
I
out of the
recognize that
closet.
shirt.
You did? You actually, I think I had got this shirt.
Yeah.
I had to pop the tag off of it. You know, I haven't had no special occasions to go to this year, so I got all these clothes with tags on it still. So, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to wear it for the podcast only.
Yeah.
Okay, Bailey, you're going to have to cut it out now.
Those are podcast clothes.
We have to throw her a mic.
You have you seen those on Twitter? Okay, what do you got to say? There's the dog. They got a little microphone like this. And the
For
dog
real?
like on there like that.
That reminds me, like, you've seen those like videos and stuff on Instagram. They even probably have accounts that go viral of like the little hamsters that make little food and stuff. You never seen that?
Nah.
They have like hamsters in the mini kitchen, and then they'll have the hamster cooking up like boiling some water, but everything is miniature size too. So they're, well, I don't know, they're probably using like, you know, like Barbie size stuff, and it's a hamster just like cooking in that, but it'll be like actual edible things and stuff.
Oh no, I never seen
Oh well, where have you been?
that. I've seen other
Anyways,
things
what's
like
going?
that.
Huh?
Okay.
Oh. I was like, anyways, what's going on, people? We got to get right into it. There is so much to get into for you guys this episode. We're probably going to be all over the place because I've been all over the place lately, and there was no episode the last 2 weeks, which is unfortunate. But of course, no apologies here because
Because we're back here now.
it's starting to be a habit. No, but I do want to point out, I did mention all those places where you can go ahead and listen to us at, and I just want to clarify, I did have to fix some things, some website settings or whatever. The Apple Podcast, I guess for some reason, wasn't loading correctly and stuff, so the preview, you wasn't able to like preview the podcast, and it was still working. I think people were able to listen weekly, and if they were subscribed, they would. Yeah, if they were subscribed, they would have got it. But if like newcomers or anyone that would have just tried to preview it before actually subscribing just to see what they were getting into, that wasn't working. And then that was also affecting all the other websites that like Apple redirects it to. So none of those were playing at all. But that has since been fixed. That error is now resolved. So you guys can go ahead and listen back on to whatever viewing platform, listening platform, whatever you prefer. Go ahead and get back on it, and if you know anyone that was having trouble or anything, let them know that it should all be fixed. But like I said, if you were subscribed, you should have no issues. This shouldn't have affected you, and that just goes to show that maybe you should be subscribed.
Exactly.
Anyways, but it's just like, you know, the whole 2020 year, it's unpredictable, never know what's going to happen, so can't really predict what's going to happen with these episodes and never know when not going to be here. No, I'm going to get back into it and start recording definitely weekly, a must for sure. But it's just been lately a lot. Weekly or bi-weekly? Weekly. Yeah. Definitely weekly. Got to get back into that habit. But as you know, last week or so, Labor Day weekend? Right? That was last weekend. That was 2 weekends ago? It was probably around 2 weeks ago. When was Labor Day
No,
weekend? The first
last
weekend of
last Monday.
September?
Last Monday, the 7th, right?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it was about last weekend or so. But I think I have other things to talk about too that even happened beforehand. But we'll actually talk about Labor Day weekend quickly. So Labor Day weekend, as you might have known, JJ, but we're gonna let the people know. I was just dealing with a lot that week in general and that. I had a flood in my house. A
Ideal.
puddle.
Ideal. A
I
what?
feel a puddle.
What the heck is that?
A puddle?
Yeah.
You don't know what that is? A
You
puddle.
you looked at a word. Oh,
A
I
puddle.
didn't hear what you said.
Puddle. A puddle.
Oh, oh, yeah, because how you said it, my boy.
I had a puddle in my house. I came
Oh,
home, stepped in a puddle, was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Come to find out, it had to do with the water heater. The water heater was broken, and it was just a whole mishap from there. A big old headache and everything dealing with the process. Fucking landlords are horrible. But anyways, Labor Day weekend, you figure extra day off or whatever, but I was still working hard. I was putting that labor in that weekend, trying to get all this water out my house. It was crazy though. I came home about 5 p.m., stepped in this big old puddle of water, and I was like, shit, how am I going to get this out? So I grabbed some towels, put
what
the
was it, in the
towels
hallway?
soak up. I was in the laundry room. I got home and I stepped in the laundry
Uh,
room. Yeah, and it was because that's where the water heater's housed in there. So I stepped in there, big old puddle, grabbed towels, threw them on down to try to soak them up. Wasn't enough, but I threw the towels into the wash and put it on the spin cycle just to wring them out, drain them out so I can put them back on the floor, soak up some more. Was doing that process back and forth, back and forth. Got home, like I said, around 5 o'clock. Did that until 12 midnight. That whole process trying to pick up water. I'm like, what the fuck? Every single time I would do it, thinking it's all cleaned up, more would start coming out. And I had already turned the
yeah.
water heater off, turned the knobs and everything off, but it was still coming out. So I'm like, damn, is the thing draining itself? The water heater, whatever's left in it, is that what it is draining out? So I'm like, fuck. So at this point, I had already called actually, like my property owner, all that stuff, and I called him. He said, yeah, turn it off. So I did that, and then by 12 o'clock, I'm like, I need some sleep and all that. I'm not going to be doing this all night long. So I went to bed, went to sleep, ended up waking up around 5 o'clock in the morning, did the process again, came back because the thing was flooded again, all filled with water all over
Niagara
again.
Falls. It was Niagara
Yeah,
Falls of it.
exactly. So I had picked all that up again, did a couple more cycles, whatever, went back to bed. Woke up again at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So in between like 3 hours or so, not even. 8 o'clock in the morning, same process, and I'm noticing the water's still coming out, coming. So I'm notifying, let them know. Well, they didn't come to do shit. A guy did come look at it, but he couldn't get the water to go off. I guess the whole building needed to be shut off, and it was not shut off. We couldn't get a help because now this day was actually Monday, Labor Day, so like the office was closed. Fucking security was being a damn bitch. Didn't want to give emergency maintenance number. I told him what's going on. That doesn't sound like emergency. Like it's a fucking
They're
flood in the
doing their
house. What do you
job,
mean it's not an emergency?
and they're doing their job the wrong way. Security has to secure the premises, not secure the wall.
But I'm like, hey, I don't know because I didn't have maintenance not here, nothing. So I'm like, hey, do you have
Yeah.
number or something? Oh yeah. Then they try to tell me, oh, look onto your lease and some this and that. Well, my lease is older, so the number's not even on there. Whatever. So they still didn't want to give it to me, and then the guy was pretty much like, well, ain't my problem. I'm getting off my shift out to the next people. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then the following day, finally, when they was back in office, I got a hold of someone and they went ahead and called right. Oh, that camera just fell. Hold on 1 second, JJ. I'm so sorry. This is so ghetto.
You had a.
That should be fine. That camera went to the side. If you guys are watching YouTube.com/J, that's the first right there. We haven't had any of those before. Camera tilting. We got a drunk cameraman.
They're probably watching me yelling at the dog to get out the room.
Maybe. Oh, I know
Right,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah.
That was doing a thingy. Yeah. So yeah, then I had finally got it fixed. It was doing an interview.
Who?
The guy that was telling to get the dog out the room.
Oh, I'm not talking about myself, not some random
Oh,
guy.
why does it sound like that? Maybe you will have to turn those headphones off because now those are
What
breaking
they
up
do?
connection.
Are they?
Yeah.
Just turn them off.
Oh my goodness! If this is your first time listening to this podcast, I apologize. We are work in progress still. Episode 122, and still don't have our shit together.
That's every time. So am I turning them off or turning them on?
Turn them off. We was doing good, and now it just went downhill from here. No, if you guys haven't known, we've been struggling. Last night, actually, we tried recording. We're going to pull back the curtain right now and let you guys know. Last night, we tried recording. I was getting some buzzing, some static noise and everything, and I did the same exact settings that I always do, so I don't get why as to it was going wrong, but it did not want to work for me yesterday. It said, nope, you was not doing a podcast tonight, so we had to do it today, so we're doing it over today. We didn't even actually, attempt it at all yesterday, so we didn't get far at all. But yeah, I don't know what was going on. It was just this big old static sound now, feedback from the headphones. That's some bootleg AirPods you got there. Anyways,
you were lying.
So as I was describing the water heater, okay, so then finally the water heater was here overnight. It just wasn't inserted. It wasn't replaced yet. So finally got a hold of the main. He was like, what? That's ridiculous. When I told him after security didn't want to get a hold of nobody or nothing, he was like, that's ridiculous. Pulled out his phone immediately, called the person, was like, hey, turn that water off to building so-and-so. So shortly after they did, changed it, replaced it, all that, and before you know it, it was fixed or so. But then they took forever to put the water back on again, and I had to keep on calling them and shit. And everyone out here is fucking horrible.
Put the water back in
the heater. So everything's now good with that, with the water heater and all of that. But legit, I had probably 8 towels on the floor, and I was doing that spin cycle for the longest, and then it was collecting sand off the floor, whatever, because it was lifting tiles up and shit.
You live at the beach?
No, but the water heater, the fucking laundry room was so damn flooded that it was lifting the tiles up.
So you had a beach in the laundry room.
And it had some sand in there, so when I was putting the towels down, it was collecting all that. And I'm like, damn, now my now my refrigerator, now my washing machine was filling up with sand. It was just a whole freaking nightmare. But I'm glad that is done and over with, and it's just a headache. Like I said, that water heater break-in is a nightmare. Have you had any close calls, anything like that lately? Everything's been dandy in your neighborhood?
Yeah, everything's been fine. Been at work, it's been fine. Been playing, it's been fine. Nothing crazy. How you have 4th of July, Labor Day weekend. I'm trying to think, what did I do? Something that Saturday, I forgot now. Other than that,
yeah,
I was just chilling. Oh, I know, I worked that weekend.
Oh, okay.
Nothing
yeah,
crazy.
I have had a lot of stuff besides even Labor Day weekend, just leading on up to this point in time. Let me catch up on something. What else I do? We're gonna get into some of the stuff. Let me just name a couple though. We're gonna talk about Dr. Phil. I did a Dr. Phil tape and everyone, so we're gonna talk about that shortly. I'll let you know how that went on. And actually, by the time you're hearing this on the podcast, I believe by next week, the episode should be airing. The 2 episodes, because it was 2 episodes, should be airing, because I just seen that this week, as this episode comes out, the beginning of this week on Monday, the new season of Dr. Phil started airing the new episodes. But I didn't see on this week for the lineup, I didn't see any of the episodes that I went. So it's probably the following week, the next week, I'm guessing.
So just be on the
but we'll
lookout
talk about
for the season.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And I'll let you guys know the deets and all that about the Dr. Phil taping. What else? I had a story. I have a story about these kids in the neighborhood. We're going to talk about that shortly, too. These stupid kids in the neighborhood. In my neighborhood, exactly. What else I got? I got a story about a reptilian, one of the lizards. You know how there's out here in Florida, got all the lizards around, right? Got one of those. What else I got here? I have so much. A documentary I recently seen. Just so many things. But before,
hopefully we're not talking about the Cardi B and Offset divorce. I ain't trying to talk about that.
I know that's just recent. That's breaking news right there. But no, we got a lot of things to talk about and a lot more show to go. We're not going to commercial yet, but before we get into all of that, I just want to get into how I was mentioning earlier, unpredictable with these podcast episodes, and I know I've been trying to get back into it and everything, but 2020, like I mentioned, has just been a complete cluster. Chaotic. Yes, chaotic. And I hadn't realized, though, 2020, this actually marks 10-year high school reunion for me.
Yeah, mine was last year. Did I do anything? No.
Okay, well, sorry for asking. It's my years, not yours. No, but I don't even know. Like, I didn't hear nothing about it. What? And I don't know, probably due to the pandemic or what. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's the excuse now.
That's what it was. The pandemic. Did you see anything about it?
No, it's not my class. It's your class.
I know that, but
You
I'm
would
just saying.
you would not went anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it would have been over there most likely, but I didn't hear nothing about it, and I wonder if it was like the pandemic and that did affect it. Obviously, probably had to. Um,
What else was the other excuse?
why they didn't do it, I don't know. But I had just thought of it, and I was like, damn, that's crazy though. 10 years that flew by out of high school. 10 and a half actually. Technically, I'm not the one to brag, but
Not 10 years would be in December for you.
no, that passed. That was last year. I
No,
stopped
you
going to
would.
school in 2009 of December.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You-
Yeah. 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 No, actually, I think January of 2010,
Oh, so.
because they
Oh,
changed
you've
it
been
that
done.
year, and then you had to do that winter session thing.
Yeah, yeah. You've been done.
Yeah. So I've been done. So my reunion should have been in January before the whole pandemic. So I could have made it. It would have been just me in there, but I could have made
You
it.
would have went to that, but you never walked the stage for your graduation.
I know, right? Damn. Okay. So what did you want to hear first? Any of those before we go to commercial break, or what? Or you want to fill us in on anything? You didn't go to your high school reunion either, though, right?
We didn't have one.
Why didn't you guys have one?
Uh, it was before the pandemic, but I
What
don't
was the
know.
excuse there?
Probably like funds or something. I don't know. A lot of people didn't get back. Some excuse that they had the same thing for after graduation. We had a raffle for stuff like TVs and stuff like that. Like we didn't have
Oh,
a
your after
graduation.
graduation thing.
Yeah, we didn't have
Because
like a.
usually they take you to a trip or something, right? Like
Yeah.
overnight activity or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
So I guess we were
well,
different. We didn't do all
says how much about where we went to school. No.
that.
uh,
To be at the same place every time too, since like your parents and grandparents went to.
they did everything the same.
Yeah, they take you to this spot and nobody knows. It was funny
Everyone
because
knows.
when it was after for
All
your
five of your
graduation,
generations know.
I remember for your graduation that we went
Oh yeah, you
behind the
went.
bus and we went behind the bus and we knew where it was at, but I don't remember the place now. Like,
Oh,
where
so
is
they
it
had
at?
the funds again. They didn't have it for your year, but then my year came and
Yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden they had funds again to do these activities and stuff. So then you joined and went on that one since you couldn't go to your own.
But I didn't go inside.
Yeah.
It was a waste.
Mm-mm. No, I didn't want. I wasn't like I said. I was already done with school for a whole 6 months beforehand, and that just made no sense for me to even participate in that stuff. And I
You
probably wouldn't
wasn't
have
in that.
anyways.
You wasn't in that class no more.
No, I was in my own class. Anyways, we're gonna commercial. Actually, we're gonna be right back. We have a lot more to talk to. We're gonna get into some of the stuff that I did drop earlier, but now I look at the time and see, and might as well just do the commercial
Yeah,
break really quickly. We'll be back, so don't go nowhere, my people.